Today down in the comments, I want to talk about double dips. That is, movies that have been released multiple times in multiple editions on multiple formats throughout the years that you have rebought. What are your favorite double dips? What do you think are the most egregious money grab double dips? What are your thoughts about double dips in general? I want to hear that down in the comments. Hello, I'm Adam Cesare. This is Project Black T-Shirt, the channel where we take a new release or reissue horror film and then partner it with horror fiction that you will enjoy reading if you like that film. And today I asked you about double dips because we are looking at two double dips from Blue Underground. They are the limited edition anniversary reissues 4K transfers of Lucio Fulci's Zombie or Zombie 2 or Zombie Flesh Eaters or whatever it's called where you live, and Maniac, William Lustig's Maniac. Both have these beautiful lenticular covers, but are these 3-disc super duper deluxe edition worth the upgrade? If you have other versions of these films, we're going to talk about that today and we're going to go through these. And spoiler alert, I would say that they definitely are, but we'll talk more about them on a case-by-case basis. So first I want to start with Zombie. This is a film that I hadn't seen. It is, of course, a double dip for me, but it's not a film that I've seen since high school, where I think I only had DVD and I can't even remember if that was Blue Underground. It's whatever label released it on the DVD, kind of got it, Best Buy, and that's the one I had. But it comes in 3 separate covers available at from our friends at Diabolic DVD, and I'll put the link down in the description as I do with everything I usually talk about on the channel. I got the worm-eyed zombie, the very, very iconic worm-eyed zombie, and look at that, they just really kind of bust out of his face right there. I love it. This is a 3-disc set. It comes with 2 Blu-rays and 1 CD. The Fabio Frizzi soundtrack CD comes tucked behind this booklet there, and it's just really, really a beautiful set. It comes with a booklet of liner notes with a new essay by Stephen Thrower, a little pamphlet to talk about Eban Press's comic book adaptations of both Zombie and Maniac. We'll talk a little bit about those later. But this is a brand new 4K restoration of the film. And this may be because I haven't seen the film since high school and I haven't seen the film since DVD, but this Blu-ray gave me a whole new appreciation for a movie that I really like, that I always kind of thought was goofy, gore-soaked fun. But as far as this transfer goes, and as far as how cinematic and beautiful this movie is, I really didn't grasp that until this week. I really didn't understand what a well-composed, beautiful-looking movie this is, and it's because this transfer. For those unfamiliar, Zombie or Zombie 2, as it was released in Italy, is a kind of unauthorized, unofficial sequel to Zombie over there, which Zombie is Dawn of the Dead here. Very, very different, a very different approach to the Living Dead, a much more voodoo, Caribbean voodoo-based approach to the Living Dead, and it opens up in New York. I had kind of forgotten how much New York footage and New York shooting is in this movie, but you have beautiful shots on the Brooklyn Bridge, you have beautiful shots of Manhattan, and beautiful shots of late 70s JFK Airport. It's really, really a great New York movie, in addition to being this Italian, Caribbean, island-based zombie movie. A ghost vessel, a ghost ship, kind of is on a collision course with New York Harbor. The Coast Guard goes onto this ship, finds everybody aboard dead, and there's a zombie locked in the cabin. And it comes out, kills one of the Coast Guard guys, drops into the harbor after being shot several times, but not in the head. And then we follow a reporter who's just trying to look into this story. Why is this happening? He hooks up with a woman who's this was her father's boat, and she's trying to investigate what happened to her father. Is her father dead? Is her father alive? They charter a ship and they go to an island in the Caribbean. Wouldn't you know it, they find an island full of zombies and mad doctors and medical experimentation and all this other imagery and subtext that it really I didn't feel like I got at all in high school. I kind of just thought of this as this goofy movie, but what it really is a zombie movie kind of away from the rest of your traditional zombie movie. You have almost like patient zero happens at the very beginning, and then we leave the populated areas, we leave civilization behind, and this smaller, more intimate story can happen on this island. It's just a brilliant structure and a brilliant movie, and if you haven't seen it, this is an absolute no-brainer. If you have other releases of it, but you want to see it the best you possibly can, and you want all those features, this is a great, great, great release. William Lustig's Maniac is a movie that I love, a movie that I've seen many times, and a movie that up until this Blu-ray release has not been seen properly framed, has not been seen sourced from an uncut negative. They kind of found this version of the film that they thought was lost, and usually I kind of think that kind of stuff is like marketing hoopla, like for a new release or something like that, because I do have the 30th anniversary Maniac Blu-ray, and boy, is this a marked improvement. It looks like a new movie. I feel like for years we were watching Maniac a certain way, and I kind of just assumed that that was the way the movie looked, because it was originally shot on 16 millimeter. It was a lower budgeted production, and you kind of just assume that the grime and the grain to it is the movie and is how the movie looked, and like the kind of slightly off-color flesh tones and slightly unreal world of New York we're seeing. But this new release changes that view. It changes the way I view this movie that for me is a movie I really, really love, and it is really kind of seminal for me. Look at that. And this one you also get the soundtrack CD, but you get Joe Spinell's sweaty face looking at you as it spins. I don't usually trot out my collectibles when I'm making these videos, but I kind of had to for Maniac, because I have this beautiful poster specific to a screening that I attended in 2011 at the Coolidge Corner Theater with William Lustig in attendance, and he signed this for me. He was nice enough to sign this for me. He did a great Q&A afterwards where he answered questions about the film and was endearingly self-deprecating but also informative. This is a movie that I've seen projected, but I feel like I've never seen like this release. If you are a total newbie and you want to know the plot of Maniac, it is exactly what it sounds like. This is a very New York movie. It starts out actually, the very first scene is set on Long Island. It's set on Jones Beach. This is the first mainstream film from William Lustig, who did work in the adult film industry and did get his start there. But like Sean Cunningham, this is his first mainstream, if we can call Maniac mainstream film. But Joe Spinell, it really is a vehicle for Joe Spinell of Rocky and The Godfather fame. And he plays a mother-obsessed serial killer, kind of New York's Ed Gein. It follows him as he basically goes on this almost Son of Sam inspired killing spree, where he is taking the scalps of the women he murders and affixing them to department store mannequins and just mumbling to himself. And it's a really sleazy movie, but the gore effects are incredible. The location shooting is incredible. The soundtrack is great and really a nice counterpoint to the on-screen violence and on-screen sleaze. But it is the first film from a major talent and someone who is incredibly influential, not only for his own filmmaking, but for he runs Blue Underground, so and he started with Anchor Bay, so he's kind of changed the way we look at horror films, and especially horror films on home video, which is only fitting that these two releases are really, really good and really, really worth it. I usually kind of roll my eyes at double dips and upteenth thousandth edition of the Evil Dead films. Now they're in latex, now they're in steel, now they're encased in a cardboard box. It's not one of those. It's not a double dip like that. Neither of these releases are. They are fantastic films, not only fantastic films first and foremost, not only influential films, but these releases of them are incredible. Special features are off the wall. Zombie had a really nice suite of special features when it was released, I think in 2011, and they poured all those over here. But there's also new stuff. Stephen Thrower kind of sitting down and having like a 25-minute, half-hour discussion about the film and its kind of place in film history, and he shares a lot of cool anecdotes there. I thought that was great. There are commentaries. Most of the featurettes on both these releases are separated into second discs, so they kind of don't take space away from the video quality. There's like the standout documentary on the zombie disc is a holdover where they went to Cinema Wasteland and all the stars of the film were there, and they catch up with them and they talk with them and they talk about fandom and they talk about working with Fulci, and they not only have like nice things to say and how professional he was and how driven he was to make this a good movie, but they also have some rather unflattering things to say too, and it's a really nice warts and all presentation of a film and its director. Maniac is great. There's a new kind of 10-minute drive through New York with the director where he talks about the different locations and how they've changed. They even go into the St. James Hotel, which is no longer a sleazy no-tell motel, but it is now a like boutique hotel. They even go into one of the rooms. It's great. And the best holdover is the Joe Spinell story, which is a nearly feature-length documentary about Spinell, where they talk to a lot of his co-stars like Robert Forster, and like it's a really kind of loving talk about this guy, and a lot includes a lot of things that you probably don't know about him, especially because the William Lustig's so involved in this release. It really ends up kind of being a love letter to Spinell and almost to his younger self in a way, the way he's presenting this film, and I think it's fantastic. We're going to keep this week's book recommendation really short and really on topic, but if you want to see me talk about this more, I did a video with it where I included this already. It's one of my comic book videos, but this is Lucio Fulci's Zombie #1, released by Ebon Press. This company does this. They're these beautiful kind of single-issue floppies, but they're housed in these nice cardboard sleeves to protect your comics. Do a really great job, really gory, really gross, really great, really interesting art to interpret the film, to kind of homage the film. But the discs do come with a coupon kind of promoting these, and they do a great job. I really got to check out the Maniac one they do. I really have to check out the New York Ripper one and New York Ripper crossover that they're doing right now. But yeah, they're doing good work. Support them. I'm Adam Cesare. This has been Project Black T-Shirt. If you want to hit the subscribe button right there, that's great. If you want to go watch some of my other videos, I write novels, novellas, short stories, sometimes comic books. I can send you a free sample of my work if you check out my mailing list down below. Have a great week.